Imagine waking up each morning with the unwavering belief that today is a new opportunity, not just another day, but a blank canvas to move closer to the life you deserve. Before you take your first step, before you speak your first word, before you write that email or take that call, everything begins in your mind. Every outcome you've ever achieved started as a single thought. That's why mindset isn't just part of the equation. It is the equation. Your mindset is either your greatest asset or your most dangerous adversary. The difference between people who rise above their circumstances and those who remain trapped in them isn't resources, luck, or even raw talent. It's how they think. It's how they talk to themselves in the quiet. It's how they respond when the world says no. Let's take a moment to reflect on one of the clearest examples of this truth. Henry Ford. When Ford dreamed of building the first V8 engine, his team of engineers pushed back hard. They said it couldn't be done. They said the technology didn't exist. They gave him every logical reason why it was impossible. But Ford didn't flinch. He didn't downscale the vision. Instead, he gave a simple command: produce it anyway. Month after month, failure after failure, Ford stood firm, not because he had proof, but because he had belief. That unwavering belief turned the impossible into history. That's the power of mindset. Now, contrast that kind of inner discipline with how most people go through life. They react. They allow traffic, opinions, bad news, or temporary emotions to dictate their energy, their attitude, and ultimately, their results. They're like ships adrift in a storm, tossed around by whatever wave crashes next. But the people who build legacies, they steer. They take conscious command of their thoughts. They train their minds to stay aligned with their goals, even when the world around them feels chaotic. Your mind is like a garden. What you plant is what you grow. If you consistently plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, you'll reap frustration, hesitation, and inaction. But if you plant seeds of discipline, confidence, and faith in yourself, you cultivate a mental environment where success becomes inevitable. What are you planting today? It starts with awareness. Realize that your thoughts are not facts, they are patterns, and patterns can be reprogrammed. The mind is malleable. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections, means you're not stuck with the thoughts you've inherited. You can change the channel. You can create new beliefs. Start by eliminating self-defeating thoughts. Every time you catch yourself saying, "I can't," pause and reframe. Ask instead, "How can I?" That simple question shifts you from a mindset of limitation to one of possibility. "I can't do this" shuts the door. "How can I do this?" opens it. Repetition matters. The beliefs you hold didn't show up overnight. They were formed through repeated thoughts, often unchallenged. So if you want to build empowering beliefs, you must practice them. Affirm them. Speak them into your mind until they become second nature. Say it out loud. I am capable. I am resilient. I am focused. I am becoming the person I need to be. And then take it further. Visualize. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. Top athletes, elite performers, and visionary entrepreneurs use this technique for a reason. Close your eyes. Picture yourself already living the life you desire. See it clearly. Hear the conversations. Feel the emotions. The more real it becomes in your mind, the more your subconscious begins to work in alignment with that vision. This isn't fantasy, it's strategy. But mindset mastery isn't just about what you think, it's also about how you respond. When adversity shows up, and it will, do you shrink or do you lean in? Do you complain or do you adapt? Winners don't avoid pain, they use it. They recognize that setbacks are setups. Every challenge holds within it the seed of growth. You're either using pain to become better, or you're letting it break you. That's why gratitude is such a powerful mental tool. Gratitude isn't about ignoring problems. It's about refusing to let problems control you. It trains your mind to see what's working, to spot opportunity, to access a sense of abundance, even in the middle of hardship. Start simple. Write down 3 things you're grateful for each morning. Not someday, today. The roof over your head, the breath in your lungs, the fact that you have the power to choose what happens next. Over time, that small practice reshapes your neural pathways. It builds optimism. It quiets fear. It reinforces belief. And belief, that's the engine behind all achievement. Every extraordinary accomplishment you've ever admired began with someone who believed in it before anyone else did. That belief didn't come from evidence. It created the evidence. That's your job now. To believe when it's hard. To train your thoughts like you train a muscle. To practice even when you're tired. Even when the results aren't there yet. Especially then. Because here's the truth no one talks about. Most people don't fail because of lack of skill or knowledge. They fail because of their mindset. They quit mentally long before they ever take the first real action. They talk themselves out of the dream before anyone else even has a chance to. Not you. You're going to build a mental fortress. You're going to create an inner world so strong that no criticism, no delay, and no setback can shake it. You're going to use your mind as a weapon, not a weakness. And that begins with what you do today. So ask yourself, what limiting belief am I ready to replace? What positive thought will I choose to plant and repeat? What image of my future self am I going to visualize daily? How will I turn every setback into a stepping stone? What simple practice, like gratitude or affirmations, will I begin now? Because your future isn't determined by your past. It's determined by your thoughts, your habits, and your actions. Repeated daily with intention. Success starts within, and once you master your mind, you master your life. The average person aims for what feels safe. They set goals that fit neatly within the limits of what they already know, what they're already capable of, what they've already achieved. But safety does not lead to transformation. Safety does not ignite fire. If you're serious about creating a life of significance, of wealth, fulfillment, and impact, then your goals must stretch you. They must scare you. Look around at the most successful people in the world. The entrepreneurs who built empires, the artists who changed culture, the athletes who shattered records. They didn't aim for easy. They didn't set comfortable goals. They chased visions that made their hearts pound and their hands shake. They set goals so big, so bold, that they had no choice but to evolve into the kind of person who could make them happen. The truth is, if your goals don't intimidate you just a little, then you're playing too small. Fear isn't a signal to stop. It's a signal that you're on the edge of growth. That tightness in your chest, that voice whispering, "Can I really do this?" That's not a warning to back away. That's a signpost telling you you're about to enter the arena where average ends and transformation begins. When you set a goal that stretches you, everything changes. Your mindset shifts, your habits shift, your identity starts to evolve. You begin to act not as the person you were, but as the person you must become to achieve that dream. But let's be clear, setting a big goal isn't enough. Dreams without structure are just wishes. You need to break the mountain down into steps. Because the only way to conquer something massive is to move one stone at a time. Let's say your dream is to generate $1 million in revenue. That number alone can feel paralyzing, but break it down. That's $200,000 per year, about $16,700 per month, roughly $3,850 per week. Now it becomes real. Now you can ask, what offer can I create that brings in $1,000 this week? Who do I need to connect with? What marketing effort can I launch today? Once you chunk the dream into daily disciplines, it becomes less overwhelming and more achievable. Here's the magic part. Every small win builds momentum. Every action you take in the direction of that intimidating goal creates a shift in confidence, a shift in identity. You start seeing yourself not as someone who wants change, but as someone who makes change happen. But make no mistake, this path is not smooth. Big goals attract big resistance. You will doubt yourself. Others will doubt you. You'll make mistakes. You'll fail. You'll get discouraged. And that's exactly where most people give up. Not because their goals were too big, but because their commitment was too weak. The truth? Commitment is what separates dreamers from achievers. It's easy to be motivated in the beginning, but motivation fades. Real success comes from the people who show up even after the excitement is gone, who keep working when no one's watching, who take that next step even when the results aren't immediate. That's what makes a difference. So how do you build this level of commitment? It starts by connecting emotionally to your goal. Why does it matter? What would your life look like if you achieved it? Who else would benefit? When your why is powerful enough, the how starts to reveal itself. Next, schedule your goals. Don't just try to work on it. Put it on your calendar. Make it non-negotiable. Track your progress. Review your wins. Adjust when needed, but never stop. And perhaps most importantly, embrace fear. Fear is not your enemy. It's a compass. It's showing you where your growth lives. The boldest goals will always come wrapped in fear. But inside that fear is the future you want. Face it. Use it. Let it fuel you. Here's another truth. People don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they stop too soon. They talk themselves out of their own greatness. Don't be one of them. When Thomas Edison was working on the light bulb, he failed more than 1,000 times. But each failure brought him one step closer to success. Each setback refined his process. Success, he understood, is just failure that didn't quit. So here's your challenge. Set a goal that both excites and terrifies you. Not a goal you know how to reach, but one that forces you to grow. Write it down. Break it into small, daily actions. Track your progress. Embrace the fear. And commit to seeing it through. Because the world doesn't reward safety. It rewards courage. It rewards those who dare to dream big and back it up with relentless action. So, what will you do? Will you continue setting goals that keep you in your comfort zone? Or will you set a goal so bold, so powerful, that it reshapes your future? Set the goal. Build the system. Take the action. And when the fear shows up, don't back down. Step forward. Because behind that fear is everything you want. Success doesn't favor the most talented. It doesn't reward the most intelligent. It favors the most disciplined. That's the raw truth. Because while talent and intelligence can give you a head start, they can't carry you through the grind. What will? Discipline. The unshakable commitment to show up day in and day out, regardless of how you feel. Most people know what they need to do. They know they should work on their business, eat better, read more, exercise, save money, or cut out distractions. But they don't do it. Not because they lack knowledge, not because they lack opportunity, but because they let their feelings dictate their actions. I don't feel like it today. That one phrase has destroyed more dreams than failure ever has. Let's be clear. Discipline is not motivation. Motivation is that fleeting high you get after watching an inspiring video or hearing a great quote. It's what gets you started, but it fades. Discipline is what keeps you going when the motivation is long gone. It's the internal agreement you make with yourself to follow through no matter what. When you're tired, when you're stressed, when the results aren't showing yet, that's when discipline matters most. Look at any high achiever, athletes, entrepreneurs, artists. What separates them from the rest isn't just talent or passion. It's consistency. It's their ability to show up every single day and do the work, even when no one's watching, even when there's no reward in sight. That's the quiet power of self-discipline. Discipline is a muscle, and like any muscle, it needs training. You don't wake up one day suddenly disciplined. You build it, rep by rep, day by day. Every time you choose action over excuses, you strengthen that muscle. Every time you get up early, push through a workout, finish a task you didn't feel like doing, you're wiring yourself for success. It's in those small, silent victories that greatness is built. The mistake most people make? They wait to feel ready. But readiness is a myth. The truth is, you won't feel like it most of the time. That's why discipline is powerful. It allows you to act in spite of your feelings. The most successful people in the world don't negotiate with themselves. They don't ask, "Do I feel like doing this today?" They just do it. It's non-negotiable. A decision made once, executed repeatedly. Let's bring this down to your level. Think about a goal you've been trying to achieve. Maybe it's building a business. Maybe it's getting in shape. Maybe it's writing a book. Now ask yourself this: are your daily actions aligned with that goal? If not, it's not a lack of strategy. It's a lack of discipline. Because if you did the work every day, even just a little bit, the results would come. But too often, we let our mood dictate our momentum. So, how do you develop relentless discipline? Start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Pick one habit: waking up early, doing 30 minutes of focused work, avoiding distractions, and do it consistently. Build momentum. Let that win stack up. Then layer on the next habit, and the next. Set standards. High ones. Treat your commitments like promises, because every time you break a promise to yourself, you erode your self-trust. But when you keep those promises, even the small ones, you build confidence. And confidence fuels discipline. Create systems. High performers don't rely on willpower alone. They build environments that make success easier. They plan their days. They remove distractions. They automate habits. They don't leave success to chance. They design their lives to support it. Hold yourself accountable. Whether it's a journal, a calendar, or a coach, track your consistency. What gets measured gets improved. Don't just hope you're making progress. Prove it to yourself. And most importantly, embrace discomfort. Discipline lives outside your comfort zone. Growth happens when you're tired but still show up. When the path is hard but you keep walking. Every time you push through resistance, you become stronger. Every time you endure, when it's easier to quit, you rise. Understand this. Discipline is the price of freedom. Most people think freedom means doing whatever you want. But real freedom? It's the ability to live life on your own terms, to build the life you dream of. And that requires discipline, because discipline gives you the power to choose your future, not be a victim of your circumstances. The undisciplined life leads to regret. Regret for the chances you didn't take, the actions you didn't follow through on, the potential you didn't fulfill. But a disciplined life? It's not easy, but it's worth it. It's fulfilling. It's focused. It's powerful. So, from this day forward, stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for motivation. Start choosing discipline, one decision at a time, one action at a time. Build the muscle, strengthen the habit, commit to the process. And before long, you'll become unstoppable. Not because life is easy, but because you've trained yourself to do what needs to be done, regardless of the circumstances. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who work, relentlessly, consistently, disciplined. Make the decision now, because the life you want isn't built in a burst of motivation. It's built in the quiet hours, when you choose discipline over distraction, every single day. No matter how disciplined you are, no matter how ambitious your goals may be, your environment will either amplify or sabotage your growth. You cannot expect to live an extraordinary life if you're constantly surrounded by ordinary thinking. The truth is simple, and it's been echoed by high achievers across every field. You become the average of the people you spend the most time with. Take a moment and reflect on your current circle. Who do you talk to daily? Who do you seek advice from? Who are the voices in your head when you make tough decisions? Whether you realize it or not, their beliefs, habits, and standards are rubbing off on you. If they make excuses, you'll start making excuses. If they procrastinate, you'll slowly become more comfortable delaying action. But if they dream big, act boldly, and hold themselves to high standards, you'll start doing the same. This is not just theory, it's human psychology. We're social creatures, and our brains are wired to adapt to the norms of our tribe. That's why high performers are fiercely selective about who they let into their inner circle. They don't tolerate mediocrity because they know that mediocrity is contagious. So is excellence. Imagine trying to get in shape while hanging out with people who mock healthy eating and skip the gym, or trying to grow a business while surrounded by people who only complain about their jobs. Eventually, you'll either lower your standards or leave that environment. Because here's the truth. You will never outperform your environment for long. Greatness isn't just about internal drive. It's also about external alignment. Your surroundings must reflect your aspirations, not your fears. If you want to grow, you need to be surrounded by people who challenge you, not coddle you. People who inspire you to level up, not talk you into shrinking down. The good news? You have control over this. You can redesign your environment. You can seek out mentors who've walked the path you want to walk. You can join communities where high standards are the norm. You can read books, listen to podcasts, and immerse yourself in content that stretches your thinking. And you can distance yourself, respectfully but firmly, from anyone who's pulling you down. Let's talk about mentors. A mentor doesn't have to be someone you meet in person. It can be someone whose books you study, whose videos you watch, whose work you emulate. The key is proximity to greatness, exposing yourself daily to ideas, values, and strategies that elevate your thinking. The more you do this, the more your internal thermostat rises. What once felt impossible becomes your new baseline. Now, let's look at the emotional energy of your environment. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling drained? That's a sign of misalignment. On the other hand, have you ever left a room feeling fired up, full of ideas, and ready to act? That's the power of being around growth-minded individuals. Their energy is contagious. Their mindset shifts your own. This is why successful people are intentional about who they allow into their lives. They don't waste time trying to convince negative people to change. They don't stick around environments that reward gossip over growth. They choose circles where ambition is admired, where effort is celebrated, where success is shared, not shamed. Here's a principle to live by. Never be the smartest, most disciplined, or most ambitious person in the room. If you are, you're in the wrong room. Seek out rooms where you feel challenged, where you're pushed to improve, where your excuses won't be tolerated. That's where you grow. That's where transformation begins. But this process starts with honesty. You must audit your current environment. Who's lifting you up? Who's holding you back? Who believes in your vision? And who subtly undermines it? You don't need to cut people off harshly, but you do need to prioritize your future over their comfort. And remember, this works both ways. Just as you seek excellence from others, you must bring excellence to the table. Be the kind of person others are inspired by. Show up with discipline. Speak with integrity. Hold yourself to high standards, even when no one's watching. When you embody excellence, you attract it. Also, don't underestimate the power of community. Join mastermind groups, attend events, network with like-minded people who are also building their dreams. In those environments, your goals won't feel too big. Your drive won't feel too intense. You'll realize you're not alone. And that realization is fuel. And let's be clear, your environment isn't just people. It's the books on your shelf, the podcasts you listen to, the YouTube channels you subscribe to, the thoughts you rehearse, the spaces you work in. Excellence must touch every corner of your life. Make your home a place of clarity. Make your digital feed a source of inspiration, not distraction. Make your routines reflect your standards. Finally, understand this. Environment isn't static. It evolves as you evolve. As your vision expands, so should your surroundings. The people who got you to one level may not be the ones who can take you to the next. That's not betrayal, it's growth. And true friends, true partners in your journey will either grow with you or cheer you on from afar. Surrounding yourself with excellence is not optional, it's essential. It's one of the most powerful, underrated success strategies available to you. It doesn't require talent. It doesn't require money. It requires intention, clarity, and the courage to step into better rooms. So today, take inventory. Audit your influences, upgrade your inputs. Seek out the high standard. Demand more from your circle. Then rise to meet it. Because when you walk with giants, you don't have to chase greatness. It becomes your new normal. You've built a powerful mindset. You've set bold, frightening goals. You've developed relentless discipline and surrounded yourself with excellence. But none of that means anything, absolutely nothing, without one critical element: massive action. Most people don't fail because of lack of intelligence, talent, or even opportunity. They fail because they hesitate. They plan, overthink, wait for the right time, and never take the leap. Their dreams remain ideas, beautiful, well-designed, perfectly envisioned ideas that never touch the ground of reality. The truth is this: massive action is the bridge between your potential and your results. Think of every successful person you admire, every empire built, every invention created, every book written, business launched, or life transformed. Behind all of it, you will find a common thread. Someone started. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They didn't wait to feel ready. They didn't wait until every piece of the puzzle was in place. They simply took action, and they kept moving. You see, action is the ultimate differentiator. Dreamers dream, doers do. And in the end, it's the doers who win. Why? Because action creates momentum. Even imperfect, messy, uncertain action is better than no action. Because motion leads to clarity. You don't learn by thinking, you learn by doing. You gain experience, you gain feedback, and you gain the confidence that can only come from execution. Let's get one thing straight: the perfect time does not exist. If you're waiting for your fear to disappear, for your schedule to clear up, for someone to validate your idea, you'll be waiting forever. Life rewards those who step forward, not those who sit still. Massive action doesn't mean reckless hustle. It means intentional, focused, daily effort, the kind of effort that compounds. It's waking up every morning and asking, what's one thing I can do today that moves me closer to my goal? Then doing it. It's writing the first page, even if it's not perfect. It's making that phone call, even if your voice shakes. It's hitting the gym, even when you feel tired. It's launching the business, even when you don't have all the answers. Because momentum doesn't begin with mastery. It begins with movement. And yes, fear will show up. Fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of not being good enough. But here's the truth. Fear is not the enemy. Inaction is. Every successful person you've ever seen felt fear too. They just moved anyway. They understood something most people don't: that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action in spite of it. And what about failure? Good. Let it come. Failure is feedback. Failure is part of the process. Every great achievement was built on a mountain of mistakes. Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. If he had stopped after the 100th try, we'd still be living in the dark. So, what does massive action look like in real life? It looks like planning less and doing more. It looks like showing up daily. It looks like working on your dream before the world believes in it. It looks like pushing forward when the results aren't there yet. And it looks like refusing to stop until your reality matches your vision. But let's be clear, it's not about chaos. It's about systems. The most successful people don't just take action randomly. They build routines, they create habits, they have a game plan, they track progress, they know where they're going, and they take daily steps in that direction. Think of it like this. Success is not a lightning bolt. It's a series of steady, unglamorous steps taken over time. It's the unsexy work behind the scenes, the consistency that no one sees, that leads to the overnight success the world celebrates. And that's your job now, not to wait, not to wish, but to move. Take massive action even when the vision seems far away. Take massive action even when the results haven't shown up yet. Take massive action even when you don't feel like it. Because every time you move, you send a message to the universe. I'm serious. And the universe responds to those who act with conviction. Remember, you don't get what you want. You get what you're willing to work for. So today, don't wait for clarity. Create it through action. Don't wait for permission. Give it to yourself. Don't wait for motivation. Let movement generate momentum. Make the call, take the step, hit publish, show up again tomorrow, stack the bricks. Because when all is said and done, it won't be the thoughts you had, or the goals you dreamed, or the knowledge you gathered that changes your life. It will be the actions you took. Massive, relentless, unstoppable. And that is how you rise from average to fortune. In life, true success isn't just a result of talent or luck. It's the product of daily choices, disciplined habits, and a resilient mindset. Especially for those of us in our later years, it's empowering to remember that it's never too late to grow, change, and chase a purpose-driven life. One key lesson is that mindset is everything. Your thoughts shape your outcomes. Cultivating self-belief, surrounding yourself with positive influences, and taking consistent action, even small steps, can lead to meaningful change. Whether it's starting a new hobby, building financial stability, or simply choosing peace over stress, the principles remain the same. Take responsibility, stay disciplined, and never stop moving forward. Let fear be your signpost, not a stop sign. Let discipline guide you when motivation fades. And most importantly, take action. Every step, no matter how small, brings momentum. Just like building anything worthwhile, whether it's a home, a garden, or a legacy, it takes time, commitment, and care. But the rewards? A life of fulfillment, clarity, and pride. Remember, you're never too old to rewrite your story. The next chapter starts with what you decide to do today.